Hey guys, Johnny, back with another Building with Johnny. We're going to be going over a Hack Fab Mini-B sprint car kit. So all this is just a conversion kit. It's a new cage setup, still stock chassis for the Losi Mini-B. We use the Pro Rollers. It's got a couple hop-ups already pre-installed on it. It's a pretty good option for this mini oval glass that we're going to be doing. So the parts you're going to need, obviously, you're going to need a mini Pro Roller. Just like I said, a lot of option parts pre-installed already on it. You'll need your sprint car cage kits from Hack Fab RC. We got them here in stock. Got a bunch of different colors, 3D printed. There's one piece. The next piece you're going to need is the sprint car body panels. So that's your front wing, top wing, side panels, center section, rear pod. So that's all the pieces you need for the body of these sprint cars. You need the headers. There's a couple different styles of headers. There's matte, there's chrome, there's gloss. There's a bunch of different colors of the headers to make them look however you want to. And the guy we're building this one for has opted for the carbon fiber hinge brackets. So it's just a better option for them. You can build it fully stock. You do not need this part. You can build it exactly stock. Next thing, you're gonna need the manual for it. Hack Fab has it on a PDF. I just printed it out, makes it a lot easier. So that way, 10 pages, super easy then. Tools, gonna need a little pair of needle nose, a pair of side cutters for some zip ties for cable managing, some scissors if you need to make adjustments to the body, something to hold the brute body post, a 5.5 nut driver, a 1.5 millimeter Allen, a 2 millimeter Allen, a flat blade screwdriver just to help with the body nuts and assembling that, a body reamer, and I'm just making it easy on myself. I got a DeWalt for putting all the little screws in. And that should be all the stuff we need. Alright guys, so first step I'm gonna get this Mini-B ready. So first thing we're gonna remove is the wing, body, and the wing mount, and a couple little screws. So first thing, I'm gonna pull the body. It's one little body clip. Save that for later. You will use it on that. Pull it up, get it over the spur gear cover, set that to the side. Take your 1.5, set that to the side. Keep the hardware. You admit it when you might need it again. Take 2 screws out of the shock tower. Get at them. And one more. And come on. Set that aside, set that extra screw aside. And then it's these 2 screws here. They're for your body mount setup for the cage. And then these 2 right up here in the front. Now you don't have to use the Pro Roller. You absolutely do not have to. You can take your regular RTR Mini-B or your modified Mini-B. Okay, that one did not like that one. Give me 1 second. Not supposed to take the bumper off. This one just didn't like me. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And that's fine. Take that one back down by hand. Now I can try to take the screw back out again. There we go. That one got it. Little bit much Loctite on that one though. But the nice thing, what we're going to do, we're just going to again set those screws aside. Might use them later, you might not, who knows. taking these back two off, so you still can put your shocks to the back if you want to change how it tunes, or how it handles really. If you have a custom sway bar set that uses that back air, you still can use it. And that's all we need to do right now on this Mini-B. So, yeah. All right, so first step we're gonna do, we're gonna get these headers onto these body panels. So all it takes is, in the headers included is a little tiny little screw. I'm gonna take my 1.5, run it through the body, in, let's see, these holes, these front two sets of holes here. Run it through them, and then start it on the header. Don't worry about cranking one down if you don't have it yet. Start one, get it in there, grab your next screw, get it ready. So I got them started, now I'm gonna finish with this thing, make it easy. That's one side done. On to the next side. Just simple little tiny screws. I'm just gonna put both in. Come on, good fighting me. There we go. I got my little DeWalt gyro driver set to a torque spec, pretty light, so it shouldn't have to worry about the dripping out screws. Obviously, if you guys get one, you're probably going to want to wrap it first and then assemble. Otherwise, you're taking most of the car apart to re-wrap it. But it's up to you. You can wrap it, you can paint it, you can put your own graphic on it, however you want. Come on, start. So that's the first step done. All right, so next step we're gonna do, we're gonna assemble the cage a little bit. So we're gonna take our driver's side of the cage. It's obviously gonna be your left side of the cage, just how they call it driver's side. Don't matter. So first thing we're gonna do, actually, well, you need the cage, your front body mount setup, your top braces, and your center deck brace. First thing we're gonna do is take our body mount, front hinge mount, I should say, not body mount. Get it to line up inside, whichever way it does that. 3D printed parts, they can be finicky sometimes. This one seems to be pretty good. Next, I'm gonna take two M2.5 by 8 screws, just line them up. Do not over tighten these. They just go right in the little dimple here. It's pre-molded in, you don't gotta worry about anything. Just want that to move freely, because that's your cage hinge for the front of these things. So that's first step. Second step is gonna be to grab the cage and hook this up to it the rest of the way. So there's just another little indent here. There's two up here, one here, and one there. So that's for your different braces and all that. You'll line this up with the front, with the flat section of it. Take another M2.5 by 8. Put this one down in its little recess. And that's still, I have that just loose enough to where it still moves freely, so that way I'm not worried about breaking things. For the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to this center brace. So all this does is this just holds the main hood section onto the chassis. You can take the M2.5 by 8, line it up, get it in to the recess, if the screws are having a hard time you're having a hard time getting the screws to start, all you gotta do, take a body reamer, give it 1 to 2 little turns on the 3D printed, and it opens that up just enough, make it real nice and easy to get everything assembled. Next is gonna be the top of the front brace. So front brace is the one with the big bow in it. Again, take your 2 screws and just take your time. There's 2 screws that hold this front brace on. And again, the rear brace is just going to be your other one remaining. Again, this is all 3D printed stuff. Don't go cranking them down. All right, so that's it for step. So next step is to be attaching the bodywork now to the front cage, or the cage assembly. So we're gonna take a M2.5 by 12 and the front hole through the chassis into the front brace. And again, finish that one off by hand. That one just didn't seem right with that, but that's, yeah. So next is going to be 2 M2 by 6s, M25 by 6s. You will have to remove these again to attach the, okay, so that one I need to use the body reamer because that one did not start. Any body reamer will work. Just a little touch on it, that's all it needs. You're not trying to make big holes on them. Just a little touch is all it needs. Remember, they're sharp, they will cut you. Come on. You don't gotta worry about installing those fully. Just enough so it holds the body in place. All right, that's step 3. All right, so we're gonna move on to step 4. Step 4 is gonna be installing some Nerf bars on the one side of the chassis. So we're gonna take our chassis assembly so far, our Nerf bar, to M2.5 by 8s. So these are gonna go through the chassis, through the body, and get held on by the Nerf bar. All that does, realistically, that would be to protect the driver in an accident of a real sprint car. The bigger end's gonna go towards the back. The shorter end's gonna go towards the front. Keeps the other cars out of the rear tires of a full-size sprint car. Again, 3D printed parts, take your time. That's it for step 4. All right, so next we're gonna assemble the fuel tank guard on the sprint, like on a full-scale sprint car. So all we need is our top portion, our lower portion, the little spacer, and then 2 M2.5 by 10 screws. I don't need that right now, so set that to the side. We're just gonna put the screws through the hole there. They're already pre-set up that way. This one I'm gonna do the smoother side on the down, just to have a less chance of cutting carpet. So, and then there's a little spacer. Again, I'm just gonna make it easy on myself. I'm gonna open the threads up a little on the edge. And don't drop it all the way. I'm gonna grab my little pliers to hold this, make it real easy on myself. Okay, that had a weird burr in it, but that one's tight. And this is just the right length. I don't even have to let go of it and swap the sides. Come on. Take that out of the way, and that's the assembled piece. So we're on to step 6 now. So that's just going to be attaching this to the chassis setup. So we're going to need obviously our chassis setup, the rear pod setup, and two M2.5 by 12s. They're just going to go right through these rear holes. Again, guys, I cannot stress this enough. It's 3D printed parts. You don't need to hammer them in. Yes, I'm using a driver, but it just makes it faster. And it's set on a very low torque setting. So all you're gonna do is set it up to be up top, so it assembled like this. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna open them up a little bit first. Now we're gonna install them. I don't know why this thing does not like these M12s. So I'm just gonna do this one by hand. So that is it for the step 6. All right, so step 7 is gonna be to assemble the front hood section onto the chassis. So what we're gonna do is take our hood section. It's this single angle section. It's already pre-bent. So they made a little update to the chassis apparently, and instead of using another little M2.5 by 6, use an actual proper M3 size. So good large hardware. Only thing I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to open the body up this time, not the screws, not the chassis. Open the body up just a little. Clean it up both sides, make it even. That's nice. So again, just line it up, little center holes on each side. Take my 2mm. Just nice little snug fit. Then take your little M2.5 by 6 and obviously you can add whatever scale details you want. If you want to put a scale air cleaner there, go ahead, more power to you. That's it for step 7. All right, so now we're gonna assemble the rear fuel tank section, but they don't give it trimmed. Pretty easy to trim. All you're gonna do, take your nice Lexan scissors, and pretty much you'll remove all this extra flashing on it. Just remove all the extra. It doesn't really. And then take your straight set and just line there's two little indents of where to cut. That's usually where I start off of. And then gotta take two little notches out here for it to fit over this cross member. I'm going between curved scissors and straight scissors. You can make it work with just straight scissors. You can make it work with just curved scissors. All depends on how you want to do it. All I'm doing is I'm just removing the little indent on this rear fuel tank section. Bending it up a little to get a better angle on it. Now test fit and trim accordingly. Alright, so I need to take a little bit more off the front just to get it to clear the body post section. This is, honestly, I think this is the most tedious part of this thing. It's just this little trimming of this fuel tank. And there is a protective film over this, so if you do want to just draw your line on it and cut to the line, that's up to you. You can do that. That fits that way. I'm going to take my body reamer and make a little hole for the single M2.5 by 6. Take it out and then just make it real easy. Minor trimming. All I'm going to do then, take the little screw and lock it down. All right, that's it for step 8. All right, guys, so we're gonna move on to step 9. It's just gonna be assembling the upgraded, obviously, upgrade carbon fiber pieces to the chassis. So the rear one uses a body post setup, so that way it's a hinge and quick release setup. So all we're gonna do, take our little tiny screw, put it through the piece of carbon fiber into the body post for the back. And again, I'm gonna open it up, make it easy on myself, instead of me trying to make a bunch of threads. But I'm gonna hold the body post in my shock shaft pliers. Makes it easy. Doing hand tools on this one just because it's such a small piece. That's that for that one. So all I need that for. We're going to take our 4 M2 by 12 screws. So these are going to go through the carbon into the shock tower for the back. We're going to go in them 2 open holes. Again, I'm just going to take this, just get them started. There they are, M2, so they're even smaller, so I'm not even going to attempt to use the drill on these. You can get more than enough power just by your hand. The front one is going to go up here on this front end. The screws are going to look a little crooked. It's made to be that way. So this one's just going to be these two just up here. Alright, so that's it for step 9. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to assemble next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put one part of the cage on. So it's going to take another M2.5 by 8. Just had it going a second ago. Come on. Line it up, just start one. Not tightening it down all the way, it still moves rather freely. And I'm going to assemble the left side, or the right side of the body too, but I'm not going to install anything on the front end yet. I'm going to install the Nerf bars actually. So those use, let me go back to the other side. 8s. So I'm going to double check the instructions. So again, 2 M2.5 by 8s through the other side of the body, or from the inside of the cage through the body to the Nerf bars. And as long as you can hold on to it, make it real easy. So that's that part of the cage done. Next thing we're going to install is the 2 M2.5 by 6s just to hold the front of the body on or in place. We'll remove these in just a little bit. Okay, that one's actually not going to start. So again, back to the body rammer. Just open them up just a little. That's all they need. Leave these two loose. You don't need to have have them hold anything really. Then take a 2.5 by 12, that goes right here in the front. Should go through the front. You don't have that happen. Take 3 M2.5 by 8, put in the top brace. For the top brace back here, all you do is just fold the body down a little. And just hold that, make sure it doesn't try to rotate on you. And that one's pretty good. And then one more M2.5 by 8. That's gonna go down here under the body. So you kind of have to push the body out a little to get it into this hood brace. And then finally, 2 M2.5 by 12s holding this back section to the cage. I'm just holding tension on it so that way it doesn't jump. Okay. So that's the cage assembly done almost. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take these 4 M2.5 by 6s back out, and then we'll start assembling some body panels, some more body panels on. Set those to the side. That's it for this step, I guess. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna assemble the front wing, the nose wing, I should say. So we're gonna take our nose wing section and then the 2 side panels. So what we're gonna do, take the side panels, put a piece of the nylon hardware through. They just fit. You can just mock them up this way. You don't have to put the hardware on just yet. You will in just a second though. You can make sure that it ends up being square and proper. And they want to be angled, they'll be angled back a little. And again, if the holes don't quite fit the hardware, take your body reamer, just open the hole up just a little. They'll fit that. So what your front wing should look like it. Again, you want to just make sure, it's like saying, give it a bend, it'll be fine. Make sure that it is square and lined up properly. What we're gonna do then is just take the little nylon hardware on the inside, take your flat braid screwdriver, and just tighten it up. Doesn't need a ton of power. Again, it is plastic hardware. you will strip it out, but it's easily replaceable. I think we have the stuff here at the hobby shop. So yeah, if you manage to bust a piece off, if you wreck it, we have the pieces here. So that way you can refix it. There's one side done. Take the next two. Let's get them started. It's not like metal and metal threads that will not go if they're not right. Now these things, it don't matter if they're cross-threaded or not. Try not to. That just makes it easier on yourself. Just a little. I'm not even putting a bunch of pressure on it. Just hold just a little. Alright, so that's it on the front wing. Now I'm going to assemble it onto the chassis. So we're going to take our front wing and the 4 bolts that we just took off. Don't mind Cooper, he is changing the light on me at the same time. You don't drop the hardware too, that makes it even better. And just take your time, don't get too mad at it. Yes, I know it's little hardware, it can be mad at. Pretty easy to get it mad at sometimes, but it's no big rush. Unless you are rushing, and then should have had better time management. And that's it for the front wing. Alright guys, so now we're gonna assemble the wings. Obviously you need your side plates, your main supports, your driver's side wing brackets, and then your center section and hardware. So what we're gonna start with our driver's side portion and the center section. Just gonna put the hardware in from the outside to the inside. I think it's just a nice smooth install. So that way if you run it wheel to wheel with somebody, you have less of a chance of breaking hardware off. So that's what it should look like. Now, while we're at it, we're gonna put the braces on too, just as I'm here. So again, just fold them up. I'm not putting the braces down yet, I'm just putting the hardware into the brace. And again, you want to make sure when you're putting them on, the little kick up is towards the back. Just setting them in there. So now I'm going to take the nylon nuts and start on the bottom. And if you want, after you're done, you can put a little drop of, once everything's all wrapped or painted, done up how you want it to, if you want to, you can put a little drop of CA glue on each of the little nuts just to hold them in place, make it a little easier on you. So next thing, I'm just gonna move those out of the way. Take your, obviously, there's film on both sides. Take the film off before you paint it or wrap it. You'll thank me later. So just figuring out that the wing braces go in the holes towards the middle. Your wing support is gonna go to the outside more. So I'm gonna take the hardware from the top of the wing, put it down through the wing into the wing support, or the wing upright, I should say, not a support. And again, from the top down. And don't drop them. They do give you some extras though, so don't go looking too crazy if you can't find them. But like I said before, we have all this stuff here at Get Hobby, so if you do lose some hardware and you need some more, we have it all in stock here. As long as you can see what you're doing, you're usually pretty good. Now I'm gonna put the 2 screws in for the wing support. Bend that a little bit out of the way. Just taking my time. I'm gonna put the nuts on these top ones though first.
Just install those to hold them in place. But I'm gonna put the nuts on these. Any flat plate screwdriver will work, just something to make it easier. You can't just spin them on by hand. It just makes it easier. These ones can be a little funny because you're trying to put it right beside that. So what we're going to do is just line them up, make sure that the holes line up. They are off center a little, so you can't, this goes on a specific way, just for the shape of the wing to work correctly. And just put the bolts in first, so that way it holds it in place. You want to make sure that also the wing, the double bank is at the bottom. Single bank's up top. Sometimes I don't want to start just keep spinning it backwards, and then it'll eventually cut the thread properly. Alright, take our last wing brace, and again just assemble it with the slot facing forward. Last 2 pieces of hardware that you need. Just kind of work them so you get them just done.
Alright, so that's the whole wing assembly. And then just straighten them out a little. Bend the pieces of Lexan, straighten them out. Get them to be some good curves, or good 90s on it. And then that's what the wing should look like. Alright guys, so now we're gonna install the wing onto the cage. So all we're gonna use with that is gonna be the 4 included plastic washers. This makes it nicer. 2 M2.5 by 12s and 2 M2.5 by 6s. So what we're gonna do is just install the little washers onto the screws. Makes it easier. They hold the body better. These M2.5x6s are going to go into those slots on the front of the wing. They're going to go into the slots onto the remaining 2 chassis holes. And this wing has a big range of adjustments. You can go from pretty low downforce, so for some really high speed setup tracks, and then you can go to really high downforce for some loose, low grip track setups. Now we run on carpet here at Get a Hobby, so we're already pretty high bite, but I'm gonna start with this thing. I'm gonna start with initial wing setup in the middle, and also in the middle front to back on it. So what I'm gonna do is just take the little hardware, start it in the make it easy on myself. Open the body reamer up and open these 2 little screw holes up just a little more. Clean the extra out. Make it easy. Now these 2 do not need to be tight. They can be just left loose. Like just lightly loose. That way it still can move freely. And install the other one, and then we'll install the rear 2. So I mean, you got wing adjustments from, let's see, that'd be your low downforce, and then get the wing set up right. That would be your high downforce. So there's a good range of adjustment here. Obviously, there's holes going to the back, so you can have the wing set up back there or all the way up here. So you can move it around depending on how you want your sprint to handle. You're just gonna assemble these last 2 here, and we'll be just about done. The only thing I gotta do left is install it to the chassis. Like I said, I'm gonna start in the middle on this thing, of the height and the length. So we're gonna find where that setup is. Oh, okay. That one does not have a hole in that side. So I'm gonna make a hole. Move the wing out of the way. Guys, that's it for assembling the body. You start it? Oh, okay. All right, so all we're gonna do now is we're gonna assemble the cage to the body. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna line it up on the back with the post for the quick release setup. And I'm gonna line up the front. I flip this car upside down, take 2 M2.5x8s, just get them started. the nice thing about these screws, they're metal threads. You don't need the power tools. Real simple, real easy. Real nice, as long as you don't drop all the hardware. You're gonna make sure those are tight just to lock them in place, but that just makes it easy to remove once you get it done. And that's your assembled HackFab Mini Sprint. Might need to trim the rear pod there for a sec, but it's not terrible. And in the instructions it tells you to bolt it down if you're not using the hinge, but you don't have to use the hinge. You can take out 2 screws every time, but that's up to you. That should be it for the HackFab Mini Sprint conversion setup.
Hi folks, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Get a Hobby, and follow us on our social medias down below. Thanks.